right. I call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting February 26th. Everybody had a chance to take a look at them. Anyone have any corrections that need to be made? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting February 26th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Then we'll move on to the approval of the general fund vouchers 75514 through 75550 and wire transfers 17180 through 17180
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the general fund vouchers as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to our public comment section of the meeting. Ryan, you got anything you want to say?
Nope.
All right, then we'll move on to our spotlight on education, the wrestling state qualifiers, or qualifier.
Yeah, we're missing a couple, but wanted to recognize the state qualifiers on the wrestling team. Had a fantastic season. I know this has been said before, but you don't just get there by yourself. Individually, there's a lot of people that are involved, practice partners, coaches, families. At the banquet last night, kids thanked a lot of people, and I think that is true for all of them. With the 4 qualifiers we had, Ryan Anderson took a first, Nick Semp took a 5th, Gabe Colbeth was a qualifier, and Noah Wazorek took a 2nd. So, and the kids really represented the district well down there. So, hats off to the wrestlers and congratulations. And Mr. Colbeth, thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Okay, well, then we will move on.
You can leave if you want.
Yeah, if you guys want to sneak out, you can.
Unless you want to give a speech.
No, I'm not going to do
Okay.
Thanks again. So then we'll move on to our new business then. Approval of the youth options.
Thanks for getting him here.
Okay, we just have the 2 students that I have in the agenda. Approval for the youth options program out at the Tech. I also put in there the youth options criteria. Both students have met criteria, and it's a recommendation of admin to board approve those 2 students.
Then I will entertain a motion.
I make the motion, we approve them.
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the youth options. 2 students with youth options. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to our approval of the FMLA.
Mrs. Funk is a Spanish teacher here in the high school, and her and her husband are expecting their 2nd child, and the due date is on May 31st, and she's requesting leave. So it requires board approval for that one.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve that FMLA. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to the approval of our 2018-19 CISA 11 contract.
So each year in March, CISA requires a new contract for the services that they provide us. The contract's the exact same as last year. CISA really does a nice job providing professional development for the staff. They provide a lot of guidance for our grant opportunities. So no changes to the 18-19 contract. It's the same as same as this current year. If you guys recall as well, the gal that we have coming in is from CISA, was part of this contract. The Chris Stratton, who's been, providing guidance on the thank you, curriculum work that we've been doing, and that's been going really well. So that's part of that CISA 11 contract.
I make a motion that we approve that.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the 2018-19 CISA 11 contract. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Then we'll move on to the review of the board retreat.
Okay, so I talked to Mr. Al Brown from WASB. He agreed. He said April 16th works. He said 5 o'clock works. We talked a little bit about, plans for that day. He said he'd start out with a brief discussion on board governance, then work into going over the self-assessment that I have on the agenda for us for you guys to take tonight, so it's ready for when he gets here. And then he's going to work towards talking about this data driven decision making, and then from that hopefully go into kind of board goals. He said, and that will hopefully long term eventually will move us towards kind of a strategic planning setup. But he said he really would like us to move just in the development of the goals as a board. Does that sound good?
Great.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Then we'll move on to our WASB board self-assessment, I guess, huh?
Sure. And actually, can we just talk about the board policies real quick?
Yeah, let's do that.
Can we do the board assessment after the meeting? Jump in and do it?
Yeah, we can do that. And the policies actually aren't completely ready, so I think we can table those. But I just want to talk about those a little bit. So they're complete, and I just want to show you what we have. This isn't all of them, but there's some that just some notes and stuff in here. But I'm hoping to get a clean version of these next week, and then a digital version for you guys to take some time to look at on your own. And then we can do our first reading, and technically or legally, we don't have to read word for word every policy like out loud as first reading, but I would like to go through each one and have you guys kind of individually read and go through each one, especially for the board governance stuff. And then if there's changes that you guys want, or you guys want me to look into something as far as getting more information on a certain policy, we can do that.
So then you can feed back to what's the guy's name?
Stu.
Stu.
Yep, Stu Waller.
So we have questions or whatever, you can relate.
Yeah. Does that sound like a pretty good plan?
How soon do you think you'll have these to us digitally or
Well,
email?
my thought was, maybe we want to wait until I can get them to you as soon as next week, but maybe we want to wait to put them back on the agenda until after that April date, so that the full new board, whatever that looks like, can go through them. What do you guys think?
It doesn't matter to me, I guess. If you have it ready, just get it out ahead of time, that's all right. I'm sure Dave would like to see what the new format looks like and stuff too, I suppose.
And this one would be fairly straightforward.
Right.
This would be the easiest section for them to miss something out of, right?
It might be better if it was, set up or, kind of looked at for them to come in and say, this is the way we govern.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're thinking about using it as a kind of a teaching tool for them as we... Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But most of it is,
Pretty standard.
pretty straightforward too. I mean, there's going to be some that require some discussion and decision making on your guys' part as far as what you guys want. And I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of one that requires some
Dress code?
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but most of them are pretty straightforward. So it doesn't matter to me one way or the other.
If you have it, let's get it started.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. So then we'll move on from there to our superintendent notes.
Okay.
Mr. Ernst.
Today's been a little bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. It's been a lot of the administrative team meeting and figuring out what the game plan is. But before we get to all that stuff, we've had it's been all good problems to have. So last week we had track. I can't believe I'm saying this because of the amount of snow that we have. But track practice has begun. The spring sports. We had the basketball team had a big victory on the 8th and then again on the 10th, and won the sectional tournament and qualified for the state meet. So the first time since 1972. So it was a lot of fun to be a part of. And the gym over in New Richmond was standing room only, and Similar to the wrestling crowds, are just packed, and this school district, no matter what sport, has just a huge community following and support group. So it was nice to be a part of, fun to be a part of. I know some mentioned to me that they've waited for a long time, and I only had to wait for 2 or 3 years. So everything since I've been here, it's been the sports teams have been doing a fantastic job. So, and it's been fun to be a part of. Softball begins this evening. We have PTO family night tomorrow night. Junior high spring concert tomorrow night. Then Thursday, the basketball team plays at the state tournament against Marathon, and then if they win, they'll play again on Saturday at 12:45. Decision was, we were had to make a decision as far as what to do in the district. So we surveyed the staff. When we got the survey back, we were just asking who's planning on attending the basketball tournament down in Madison, who's not. We have about a 70%, a little less than 70% rate of staff employees going to the state tournament. So it's just turned into an operational and safety decision on my part to do an early release and then a cancellation. So we're going to do an early release on Thursday, a 12 o'clock early release, and then a cancellation on Friday. And the safety concerns come in. Our transportation, our buses would be going out late, coming back at 3 in the morning. So our staff and drivers, the turnaround time would be less than 3 hours to get them back on a bus and be picking up kids. And the district wouldn't be able to function. So we're in a whole lot of options. So, but like I said, a great problem in our role to have. It's a problem I think every district, wishes they were dealing with. So, congratulations to the basketball team and the coaches on their win, and good luck to them at state. And I think a lot of us will be down there cheering them on. We are running fan buses down. That's yet to be determined as far as how many, but all that information is on our webpage and on the Facebook page. Next week, Monday, practice begins for the baseball team, and then we have a high school spring concert on Tuesday, and we also had a student success pep rally last week, which was also fun to be a part of. We had we recognized all of our straight A students, which, Mr. Gills, sorry to put you on the spot. Do you remember what percentage?
56 students out of the building. 50? So it was 20% of our building had straight A's for semester.
Yeah, so neat to see. We recognize the student athletes of the month, recognize the FCCLA group for their state qualifiers, recognize the VAC, the art competition state qualifiers, recognize the citizens of the month, and then also recognize the basketball team for their sectional win. So a lot going on, but all good stuff in the district.
Yeah. Okay. So then we'll move on to our future agenda items. Anybody have anything?
So those board policies, will we?
Yeah, other than the board policies, and I don't know what you guys want to do, but I would probably not record it. Might be a long, boring, but just kind of, I guess, saying that it plan on being here for a little while. If we go through each one, it might take an hour or so just to get through the policies.
Or can we just read them individually and then come back with our questions, or do they have to be read?
No, they don't have to be read. So if you guys want to do that,
Probably be good to have them ahead of time, then we can, either have a hard copy and make notes and put margins,
right,
and then come back and say, well,
why is this?
okay.
But speed things up, and it gives us more time to look things over.
Right.
Yep. What I'll do, I'll try to get the clean version tomorrow so we can get hard copies and digital copies in your guys' hands.
By next week.
Yeah.
We'll get it next week.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, then seeing that none, the review or the board self-assessment, are we going to do that and then come back? We're going to have the instant data to look at, or are we just going to do it and look at that
later on.
For him, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it. I don't know if you remember, but we did it. You guys did it with wasn't Guy? Was it Guy
Yeah,
Levitt?
we did it over here.
Who was Guy the one that facilitated that one?
It might have been both of them the last time. Yeah,
I think
Guy
it was
one of
both of
for
them prior to me, and then I think Guy was just there
Yeah, I
with
think it was
the
the
first
one
one with me, which wasn't too far after. I think when both of them came in.
sure. Okay.
But anyway, it's just
We just do it.
doesn't take too long.
And it's
to-
not for us to get any info tonight.
Nope.
It has
Right.
to be processed.
Okay.
And then he'll go through it on the April 16th date.
All right. In that case, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.